Many years ago, I was a mechanic at a Norton Triumph and BMW dealership in the Midwest. I will tell you right off the bat that I was never a great tech, but the job was one of the highlights of my life. Many fun and interesting things happened on that job, but it was the people that made it really memorable. There seemed to be a steady flow of shop regulars, travelers passing through, and the occasional eccentric person to make it interesting. I collected a number of stories. Some are motorcycle related and some are not, but I have attempted to share them here and I hope you enjoy them. If you do, click the like button or subscribe. My boss at the bike shop was a man in his mid-50s who would be referred to today as a old school. He cut his teeth in the 1950s riding hand-shift Indian Scouts. There was not a collector bike back then, but were considered real transportation for the less well-heeled. During my time at the shop, my boss was like a second dad to me. I believe that he found that my upbringing had lacked some basics, and so he taught me mechanic skills and took me hunting. One afternoon, he said, "Go with me, I have a service call to make." We got on our bikes and headed to the north side of Oklahoma City. We stopped in front of Leonard's house. Leonard and my boss are old fishing and hunting buddies who shared many old tales. It seems that there was a girl that had dated both of them and that she had one of their wallets, but I regress. Leonard had a powder blue Indian Chief. We were there to get it running. We never made house calls, but this was a friend of Leroy's. He was also a sculptor of some national fame. His house was amazing, with models both large and small of everything from cowboys and Indians to soldiers and fighting stances. Since I was an art student, Leroy thought I should see his work. A bit of tweaking was all it took for my boss to get the Indian purring like a kitten and idling at the rate equal to the beat of a human heart. Leroy offered me a ride, but because of the strangeness of the controls and because I was someone else's bike, I declined. Leroy pushed me aside, calling me a name that questioned my masculinity, and leaped into the saddle. Bear in mind that to Leroy, this was not some antique museum piece, but a real performance bike from his youth. He smashed the clutch, grounded into first gear, and using the shifter on the tank, and then launched the bike with a spinning back tire. He speed shifted into second and got rubber, likewise third. At the end of the street, he made a fast U-turn and headed back, repeating the performance. I believed at the time I had witnessed something very important. We have Indians today, and many are classic bikes besides, and many of these bikes are ridden regularly, but I was witness to a bike being ridden by someone who became a teenager again in the saddle. He didn't ride the bike like a museum piece. He rode it like a sporting bike that it was designed to be.